Hello there and welcome to the Unreal Engine workshop here at Puppeteer Lounge. In this workshop, we will talk about learning the process of setting up an Unreal Engine demo using this character over here. You must have already seen the demo. He's our very own Tejo character, and he's doing some bodybuilding workout movements, and it's basically ported to Unreal Engine, and here we have a gameplay video footage. Okay. You can actually download this footage as well. It's all listed in our website. Okay, and if you take a look at the demo, it looks something like that. So as you can see in this demo, the demo features like a turntable type of camera that you can control with your mouse. You can use your mouse wheel to zoom in and out, and also pause the animation, and you can see some cool effects in the background. You have a set, and also in this animation, basically it's not just a joint based deformation that's going on, it's also morph or plane shape based deformation. Now, speaking of morphs and joints, Unreal Engine supports morph targets and joint-based deformation. So we will learn how to set up them as well. And also you can see like the normal maps and the displacement maps also being triggered based on the articulation from the joints. Okay, so it's a very robust system that we have here, and I hope you will learn, you will enjoy this workshop as I do. Okay, and basically talking about this demo, you know, the original inspiration came to me. I'm not into game engines or gaming field, primarily coming in from film industry or film workflow. I was very interested into gaming as a child, and now I play a lot of console gaming. Okay, and I actually came across this demo by Eric Wilkinson. Now this is a very beautiful demo that he did using his own character Ragnarsor demo, and at the first glance I was pretty amazed, like the way he has set up it, and you can actually use the camera mouse flow to take a look into it, turntable. You can zoom it, you can see so many cool effects going on there, like camera effects, like motion blur, particles, stuff like that. You have a good looking creature out there that looks almost very realistic, almost unto photorealistic, and based on the graphics and the processing unit that you have, and this is all happening in real time. So this was really something that I had to learn, and through a lot of workflow and a lot of learning process, actually managed to create this demo, and that we have here that you can actually download. And this is what we have. So I will guide you through the process of what I have learned myself, and I will be sharing it with you all. Okay, with you guys. So talking about this demo, the original inspiration for the look and the visualization of the model came from actually this render. This is actually something that we did earlier with this character's animation. Okay, and not just a bodybuilding workout. This is actually a Maya viewport render that you can see here. It's a default render. So this is actually a V-Ray render using V-Ray software. So this took quite a while, about 8 hours of our time to produce this render. And what we were visualizing here was a hellish kind of environment. This guy, this demonic guy from hell. We set up the lighting in such a condition, and this was the original idea, so the look and feel of the character. Okay, so again, this was all rendered. It's not real time. It took us about 8 hours of rendering and some compositing works going through this. This is the result. Okay, and what you see in this demo, it's all real time. Okay, this is what I managed to come up with. We can do even better than this. More better than this. We can talk into shader networks and stuff like that, and lighting and more photorealistic stuff going into it, and maybe we can come up with even better result with this. Okay, so try pushing your workflow, and you will come up with almost a render that looks something like this, or more realistic. Okay, and this is all real time again, based on your graphics and processing unit. Okay, so you need to have a good computer out there with a good processing unit, not just the processing power, but also a good dedicated graphics card. All right. Now let's talk about some other demos that influenced me. That was this kite trailer, actually by Unreal Engine for themselves, and this is such an amazing demo. So this just opened a big opportunity, big world for everybody, because this was all done real time. Okay, there is no rendering lags, no rendering time, all based on your machine, and all the effects, all the natural vegetation. You can see the wind effects, the cloud, the weather system, even the leaves and the particles, all the lightings, all of this was real time. Okay, and I was equally impressed as a rigger myself, and as an animator, I was really impressed with the quality of the animation that was delivered, and you can especially see that in the facial, so you can see some of these close-up shots when the boy is actually making some facial expression, so you can see how much detail that has been into it. So you can already see like the amount of quality that is being delivered by a game engine, and this just opens a big door for everybody. Okay, and this rig is based on joints and facial. They have a good documentation going over it, so please feel free to take a look into it as well. So the Tejo demo that we will be creating, it's basically based on the body and the overall anatomy of the character. Okay, but the same technique can be applied on a full body facial character, just like this guy. So all the techniques are pretty much the same thing. Okay, and if you want to take a look into this demo out there, this is actually a very nice video that goes over like creating the open world kite demo in Unreal Engine. And here these amazing guys, talented artists from Epic Games, and I mean Unreal Engine, using the Unreal Engine, they have created such a realistic visualization of the entire terrain. And this is all being demonstrated, the workflow, the process, and all the hard work. It's all in this 55-minute long video demo. Okay, so please feel free to take a look into this as well before we get started with the work. Okay, now speaking of Unreal Engine, now Unreal Engine is not just like something that goes with like game engine. Okay, it's not just creating beautiful games, but also, as I said, it just opened a door for us. So that means we can see some other cool demos like this one over here. Here you can see an architectural visualization. So actually, a real-time presentation of what a building might look like before it's actually built, or showcasing your architectural visualization. So here is a nice demo. You can find a lot of these videos out there in YouTube. If you just quickly search them, Google them. Okay, so you can see how photorealistic it is. This is all real time. Okay, so with this demo, with this workshop, you may actually place a character in here and have him talk and do a demonstration for you, like a guide. Like this is the bathroom, and this is this is this. You can actually have a character. This is actually a first-person view at the moment. Okay, so there's a lot of videos out there. Please feel free to take a look into it. Okay, now none of these demos that I've shown here will be possible without the amazing power of Unreal Engine itself. Now the Unreal Engine, you need to install it. You need to get it. Okay, and the cool thing about this engine is that it's completely free. You don't have to pay for it. You can get the software, the tool set from their website unrealengine.com. Just go ahead and click on this button, and you can actually they will guide you through the process of downloading and installing the software. And once it is done, you're all set and ready to go. All right. Also, please feel free to take a look into their webpage. They have some featured articles and stuff out there. And like I said, the Unreal Engine and their community, the Epic Games and stuff, they are very, very, like giving. So whatever cool technologies or breakthroughs out there or demos out there, and all these articles and tutorials and reference are all there out there for you. So you just need your time and take a look into those videos and demos, and you can actually get a lot of advantages, learn yourself from those stuff as well. Okay, they're very generous. So you can actually, once you have downloaded the software, it looks something like this. You have the Unreal Engine launcher, Epic Games, and you can see you can launch the engine right from by clicking on this button. Okay, and you can see they also feature these articles just from their website, and you can take a look into those as well. You can actually see the learn section where you can actually learn some of these techniques into gaming and creating, beginning your journey with Unreal Engine. Some beginner tutorials out there to get yourself a head start. Okay, and also there are some feature engine samples that you can download. The Boy and a Kid's Guide, that's something that you can download. You can also download this amazing video trailer called Matinee, and this showcases the power of the Matinee workflow that I'll be talking with you in the last section of this workshop. Okay, basically very useful for creating cinematics and also short film and film production. Okay, so feel free to take a look into these, and you can actually download them and play on your computer to get started with it. Actually, I've already downloaded some of these footage, so I will be taking a look at the Sun Temple video, okay, demo, which looks something like this. So this is the demo, and this is the actual interface of the Unreal Engine. It's a pretty much similar, it's at the first glance you might be like, wow, what? So it does look simple enough. The UIs are straight enough and straightforward, and but trust me, underneath the hood, it's a very powerful system. So there's a lot of things going on inside. Okay, this is entirely all-in-one package for you for creating games, films, cinematics, everything, and the whole world opens inside of this demo, inside of this software package. Okay, so if you take a look at this UI set, you can see this. You can think of this as a Maya outliner. So everything out there is the elements that you have in the viewport. It's the viewport, right? Like viewport, I can go to perspective, top, left, right view, everything. You can see we can show the wireframe view, lit, unlit view. We can control the amount of anti-aliasing and the viewport stuff, like post-processing stuff out there, all control based on your GPU. Okay, and there are some tools that out there and some elements that you can grab and drop. Okay, basically lights and everything, visual effects. You have all these classes all bundled here. You can actually bring in there and just drop it in the scene right there, and you can see it pops on in the outliner view. Okay, and then you have these gizmos that you can control, basically just like Maya. You have E for rotation, R for scaling, and you also have the W for translating it in the world view. Okay, so basically it's quite a bit similar to the interface that you have with any other software, 3D software out there, and with a proper like a little bit of practice with this software, you will find it very interesting, and you will go with the flow. Okay, now you also have other things in the palette views, like you can actually paint stuff, you can create some landscape, creating landscape stuff. You can actually put in foliage or plantations, and basically all kind of the geometrical forms out there. You can just draw them. That's quite impressive. Okay, or you can simply bring it from any other software out there like GBrush or Mudbox or Maya, and bring it in as an OBJ file, and it's in there. Okay, the really cool thing about this Unreal Engine, and not just the awesome potential that it has, like the gaming and the film production and contents, but also is how well integrated it is. You can actually, if you are into programming, you can use your programming skills, which is based on C++. You can use that programming skills to come up with different kind of interesting contents, as well as you can be as an artist without using any programs or whatever. You can go ahead and just use your artistic talent to recreate and create the dream world that you have. You can actually see a lot of demos out there in YouTube and come up with those demos. Okay. Now, like any other 3D package out there, Unreal Engine works based on the reference and content library. So this content library is something that is more or less like a project manager or a project library for Maya. So you may have scene files, you may have assets, maps, textures, and stuff like that. Everything that you can see. So it's all in there. So for this scene that in here, you can see by right clicking on it, I can just go through and use it to just look through the amazing demo here. Okay, first person view. So I can use WASD to move front and back to move in. This is not a game mode at the moment. This is just a viewport mode. Okay, so this is how you interact with the scene. You can use the scroll in the mouse to zoom in and out. Okay, and you can use the left mouse button to actually, you can just click on the left mouse button and just move alongside like in a snail space. So pretty cool. Okay, and use the middle mouse move to actually pan the camera from one place to another, and use the right click to just look through and use that as a flyover cam for a first person view. That's pretty cool because this is how the interface works. If you want to select anything in the scene, that's very simple. Just click on it. You can actually use it to move and position thing out there. You can see the real-time shadow casting over there. Okay, this is not a game view at the moment. This is a viewport view. Whatever changes made here, you can take a look into the orthographic view, the top view. Okay, so this is a fairly complex scene out there. So bottom view, you have the perspective view that gives you the perspective window. Okay, like the 3D package itself, you can actually go ahead and rotate it, and this is actually the world-based gizmo orientation at the moment. You can change it by changing it to local space. That gives you a local space to transform, and if you go back to world, this is more like a world space transform. Okay, you can use the rotate, scale, all out there. Okay, so all of these things, like the basic beginner stuff, with the workflow and the interface, is taken care of by you can take a look into their tutorials videos out there that you can wiki and documentation, or everything is out there. Okay, you can actually click on this button to see a welcome Unreal Editor tutorial that will guide you through the interface as well. Okay, so the most important thing about creating an asset or creating a demo inside of Unreal is based on the contents. Okay, and inside the contents you have everything from materials. You can see these materials, that's all based on shader networks. Okay, you can, if you know about shader effects interface inside of Maya, this is how it works. You can see this is the shader, and it's an instance at the moment. So if you click on anything out there, you double click on that, you can take a look into the kind of shader that you have. You can control the amount of glow in the amber. It's actually animated, and all these parameters out there that you can control. Okay, it's a very robust system out there. And if you take a look at this is actually the material itself. It's not an instance, and you can see how every material, everything inside of Unreal works based on this shader network or these networks. So there's input output connection just like Maya, and everything goes into these slots, and this is what creates the material or the gameplay, or actually a blueprint or whatever that is important for the game to be executed or to be seen. So everything is node based. Okay, and speaking of nodes, you have a wide range of nodes inside of it. You can actually go ahead and right click on it and see so many stuff out there. There are maths, there are constants, there are vectors, and stuff like that. Okay, might seems a little out, too much at the moment, so I will be going through all of this process in the other classes. Okay, so also talking about the asset, we have the material, we have the mesh, that is all the OBJ models, the files, the landscape, the set, and everything. You also have the texture files in here, the texture file which includes the normal maps, the displacement maps, the diffuse maps, and the reflection map, whatever maps out there. Okay, and you can see some of these color maps and depth maps. Okay, height maps, stuff like that. So inside of the blueprint, now something that is not so familiar with this 3D, someone coming out of a 3D package like Maya 3D Max, is the concept of blueprints. Okay, now everything else, like you have material, mesh, texture, that's pretty straightforward. We know it from Maya, we know it from 3ds Max, we know it from Blender. Okay, but speaking of blueprints, it's a completely new topic. Now, blueprint is what controls your game, what controls your demo, what controls your materials, what controls your input, your controls, your display, your HUDs, whatever. Okay, so if you click on some of these blueprints, let's just opening it up. It's basically, if you took a look at the full blueprint editor, you can actually see at the moment this is what it looks like, the blueprint interface. So again, it's a node-based interface. Okay, I'm just going to double click on my controller to show you some of the connection that's going in. For some reason, there is no controls at the moment. It's pretty much based on first-person character at the moment. So I'm just going to click on the first-person character blueprint, and you can see this is the node network that you have for the character control. So you can see the input axis forward movement. Okay, that controls the movement of the camera, the movement of the character, the actor itself. Okay, you can actually see the turn rate. You can see the mouse interface here, like using the turn left, right, look up, down. Also the mouse scrolling, it might work if you go ahead and connect those. And you can also not just the mouse and the keyboard, but you can also connect like game pads, like a touch screen info and stuff like that, just like this. So everything you can see based on the node network. Okay, so this is the blueprint for the character control. This is what controls the character movement, and where you plug in and plug out the controls for the gamer, okay, the user. Okay, again, all of these blueprint networks, the my controller, the first character blueprint, the my game, everything works in a synchronized manner. They all need each other to work to create a game. Okay, so we will be talking into this section in more detail in the upcoming classes. Okay, we will have a specific section for this where we will just talk about blueprint and how we can integrate this into the game. Okay, now let's talk about the play, how we can play this game. Now, once you have compiled everything, you have the proper blueprint set, you have all the textures and assets and model. So you can just go ahead and click on the play icon over here, and it goes ahead and you can actually use the mouse just like any other first-person shooter game, because this has a first-person character blueprint. Okay, so you are the player using WASD. You can go through the different levels. You can see how it goes ahead and plays. Okay, and there you go. Okay, so if you can see how the auto exposure works as well. See, it's basically very cool stuff. And you can have some interactive objects out there as well, like if you click on that or any objects, it might open up a door for you or bring in another character or all set of those cool things. It's just your imagination out here, and you can create a very cool looking interface. Okay, now if you click on launch, you can click on the launch to actually open it up in a separate window, just like a gameplay window. Okay, you just need to let's say save selected and click on that, and it's going to compile the game for you, and it's actually going to launch this in a separate window for you. Okay, so let's take a look at it as well. So here you can see the game has been launched in a separate window, and you can see you can control this now, WASD, first person action, and you can use this as a reference for you. Like this is a first person interface, so you can already see like not just a game environment, but this can be used to visualize architectural beauty. If you want to do architectural visualization, you can see how the beautiful lake or ocean out there. Okay, all real time. You have a sun there. You can see there's a nice statue, so you can actually showcase your work using a user, and showcase maybe a museum scene or your own home, your own room out there. Okay, so this is an example of a quick demo, and you can see how it is made. Okay, so at the end of this workshop you will actually learn the process of creating a demo like that, not just integrating a character, but like creating something like this. So this is a virtual tour for you, just like that. Okay, so this is exactly what we have here. So feel free to download their contents. They have a lot of these out there. They have these Martini stuff, the kite stuff that you just saw, and everything, and you can just go ahead and play them. Okay, if you want to compile this game and maybe export it, sell it, or send it to somebody else, you can actually use it to compile, like packaging it. You can package it for the Android platform, iOS platform, Linux, or Windows 32 64-bit. Just click on that and it's going to compile the game for you. Okay, and you can just use run or execute it in a separate window and just play it. So that's pretty much the workflow essentially, and that's how a demo is made. So speaking of it, if we take a look into it, what we have we just learned is the first thing: Unreal Engine and Maya integration or whatever out there. You will need to have a proper visualization, a concept in the beginning, what the project will be looking like. Is it a turntable based showcase? Is it a first person based shooting? Is it a third person based game? Is it a Martini cinematic or a short film that you're working with? Okay, and based on that you will need the assets that you can create outside of Unreal using ZBrush, Mudbox, Maya. Assets like character, set, environment, all those things out there. Okay, you will need textures. The model needs to be properly unwrapped, UV'd, and textures. You can again use out of the box tool set like Substance Painter, which I especially like for texturing. You can actually extract these maps. You will need, if the character is going to be animated, you will need to rig it and animate it. Okay, so this is going to be done inside of Maya. You will need to then export it or back it so that you can import it back to Unreal and work with it. We will need to talk about setting up proper blueprints to control the game, to control the showcase, to control the cinematics. Okay, this is very important, and all those crucial networks for materials and stuff like that, and then publishing the game at the end. Okay, some of these things. So let's keep it simple at the moment. Okay, and we're going to begin with basically looking at the different assets that we have. Okay, so since we're doing this demo with using the Tejo character, so you can see we need the character itself, we need the rig build, we need the animation, all the maps, we need the set. Okay, we don't need the fires and elements and particles out there. This is all going to be created inside of Unreal. Okay, so out of the box Unreal Engine, outside of Unreal Engine, we will be thinking of creating the animation asset. Okay, now if you go to Maya, I can go ahead and bring in the models that we have. So let's go to the directory, and this is the directory that we'll be following: Tejo Unreal Engine 4 demo. And here's the model. Okay, so in the model we have a direct model, the set model that is directly brought from ZBrush. So it's quickly sculpted out there, and you can see here we have the Tejo character as well. Okay, so we have a low resolution model and a high resolution model as well. Now speaking of game engines and Unreal Engine, they have a specific parameter for the amount of poly counts and stuff like that. So if it is for film production, you might work with a high resolution model, but if you're working with the game industry, game projects, it might be low resolution. So we have both of these. We have a final model for Maya, and this is the model that we have, the Tejo model. This is what it looks like inside of ZBrush. Okay, it was all sculpted inside of ZBrush, and all the normals and displacement maps were extracted. We have the texture files. So here is some of the texture files that we will be using. We have a 4K texture map and an 8K texture map. Okay, So based on your system preference, you can use your preferred texture file, the texture resolution. So we have the diffuse color map, we have the normal map, displacement map, we have the specular map, and we have some veins map as well to show you the veins and arteries. Okay, if it is needed in your workflow, maybe like if the guy is doing a heavy workout and you would like to show the veins pumping and stuff like that, or create a kind of glow in them, like special effects, you can use these textures. And also these are the textures for the set, and you can see we'll be using a material preference inside of Unreal, but we will need some textures for the set itself. So you have a set normal map and some set crack maps and some set crack maps as well, where you will be creating this kind of the rock cracking and showing a volcanic lava inside of it stuff. Okay, again, your imagination is all you need. Whatever you think of, you can create it inside of Unreal Engine. Okay, so it's very cool. This is why I love Unreal. Whatever you imagine, whatever you dream, your dreamland, it comes into Unreal. You can create that. Okay, so this is basically the maps and the models. So if I had to go ahead and let's say import this inside of the Maya itself, I can go ahead and bring in low resolution UV map, and there it is, the Tejo model. This is the low resolution model, and this is exactly the same model that we use in our rigging workshop as well. You can see the UV textures, all textures done. Okay, it's not yet properly placed in the UV space at the moment, but it's there, and it's going to take in all the textures and stuff like that. If I go ahead and import the high resolution model, this is the high resolution model, and in the demo I actually used the high resolution model because it was just a single character, nothing much, not a lot of crowd there, so thought of more details with it. Okay, so again, it has been unwrapped. You can see it's all in the coordinate space now. Okay, and we have all the texture files working with it. So if I had to bring in some maps, I can just use the basic default maps in here. Again, speaking of maps, inside of the Maya interface itself, Maya also has the DirectX 11 interface based on the Viewport 2.0 rendering. So you can actually use the potential, the power of the game engine or DirectX 11 shader inside of the Maya interface itself. For this, you will need to make sure that in the setting and preference plugin, you'll need to load in the DirectX 11 shader. Okay, at the moment it's not yet loaded. Okay, you'll need to load that, and also make sure that in the settings you have in the display. Where's the display? Oh, there it is. So you will need to make sure that the rendering engine is based on DX11. You save the file. Okay, save the preference, and the next time you load in Maya, it is going to be based on the DX11 platform, if your video card supports that. Okay, so let me go ahead and relaunch Maya quickly. So I have relaunched Maya, and this time you can see that it's a DX11 shader. Okay, the good thing about the shader networks and stuff like that, it's these engines and game stuff is constantly rapidly evolving. Now Microsoft is already launched a DX12 shader, DX12 interface, so that's pretty cool. If you take a look into it, like do a quick Google search on that, you will see that photorealistic renders using DX11 interface. Okay, and that's pretty cool because you can see how much the computer graphics or CGI is evolving these days. It's more and more into going into a real-time solution. Now that you have super fast computers, we used to have like Pentium 4s and Pentium 3s just like 5-6 years back then. Now we have like ultra fast computers, and this is constantly rapidly evolving. So sky's the limit. Let's go ahead and quickly normalize this, soften the model, and you can see the soft model there. Now with the DX11, you can actually assign a new material that is based on the DirectX 11 shader. There it is. You can see it's already there. Now in the DX11 shader, you can actually go in and bring in these maps. Okay, so let me bring in the diffuse map. I'm going to bring in the 4K maps. And you will notice that it's been loaded, but it's not yet visualized. You need to check this box. You can see it's loaded. It's a skin map, skin material. So let's change the option. Now see, we will need some specular maps on it, because right now the specular is all over the place. It doesn't happen like this. Okay, so let's bring in the specular map. And with the specular map, I will change this to skin, and maybe a hint of spec out there, not a lot. Maybe change the color to the skin color itself, and make it look like that. Okay, that's good. So let's bring in the, if you go back down, normal maps, just check on that. Bring in the normal map itself. And you'll notice that with the normal map, you have more details in it. Now, normal maps, you can pump it up, bump it down, just using this slider. Okay, it works with the specular map itself, so it's all integrated properly. You can see how the specs work with the normals, giving you more detail. Okay, now the really cool thing about this DX11 shader is that you can actually use displacement maps as well. Now think about it. Displacement maps are very, when you're rendering them, it's really hardware intensive. If you use a V-Ray or any other rendering package out there like Arnold or stuff like that, you can think like just checking out displacement map and directing a texture file into it will increase the render time significantly. Okay, but this is not the case with game engines these days, because you can do this real time. Let's bring in the displacement map. And you can see it doesn't do anything at the moment. You have the displacement map, but you will need to change the tessellation technique. Right now there is no tessellation done. For displacement map to show, you will need to tessellate the model. So let's go ahead and tessellation on, and you can immediately see like something happening there. Okay, you go to displacement map, in the tessellation height, let's go ahead and increase that. There you go. You can see the magic there. So now Tezo looks too scary. So you can see like that map being triggered using displacement map, all real time. Now if we can connect the normals and displacement with the automation of the character rig, like if this guy is doing a bicep flex, and relax pose, like showing off his muscle, you can actually trigger this displacement map for a specific reason, just the arms or maybe just the chest reason, and then dial them up or down, and that is going to be showcased real time, actually changes in the model itself based on the tessellation parameters that you have. And how cool can that be? So you have all the film quality, like stuff that comes from film. You can actually integrate that using a game engine or simply a DX11 shader to create more photorealistic output that's more believable to the eyes. Okay, again, you can put in lights in here to control the lighting. If you go to lighting, use all lighting, so you can see it's again based on this light. So you can bring in the intensity up and down, change the color of the lighting, and you can do this to show off your model. Okay, so this is increasingly being done in the today's film industry, like actually doing a quick render using non-realistic or non-real-time manner may take a lot of time. So what is being done is to creating those animatics and stuff like that, pre-visualization of the character. They are actually sticking with using out of the box like real-time preference, such as using DX11 or for instance Unreal Engine or any other stuff out there. Okay, so there is a very crappy looking lighting that I quickly put on this character, and this is what it looks. Unfortunately, DX11 inside of Maya only supports 3 lights. Okay, don't worry, because Unreal supports a lot of light. And speaking of lights, it supports global illumination, It supports ambient occlusion. It supports like real-time photon and volumetric lighting and all those crazy stuff that we only see in a render image. But it's again all real-time now. Okay. Speaking of some of the features, like we can actually go ahead and put in these ambient occlusion stuff over here using the rendering settings. We have motion builder, motion blur. We have anti-aliasing to smooth out those edges and stuff like that. But this is only limited to certain parameter. Inside of Unreal, you can go beyond that. Okay. You can already see this is what it looks like inside of Maya. Okay, with all the textures and everything. Let's bring in the set as well. At the moment the set is too tiny, so it's not yet. So let's say this is what it looks like. So this is what it looks like inside of Maya before we go ahead and actually visualize this inside of Unreal. Okay, there's no fire, no animation, nothing. So this is the basic asset that we have to begin with the Unreal Engine interface workflow. Okay. Now, something that I would also like to point out is that actually I'm also working on this this stuff with these amazing guys who work on some games like Warhammers and stuff like that. Working in big studios like CryEngine, using the CryEngine, another game engine, so Crytek. I believe the video games like Crisis 1, 2, 3. I played all of them, and that was pretty cool. And I'm actually working with those team on creating a film, 55-minute long, and doing character setup for those guys. And what I learned is that the CryEngine actually is coming up with a new tool set. It's called Cinebox. Okay. So Cinebox is something that is going to be pretty revolutionary because it uses game engine not to produce game but to produce short films and films. And again, with a proper dedicated computer graphics and hardware, this Cinebox is going to produce ultra realistic, photorealistic output. Okay, all out of the box, real time. So you can see future is here. Okay, not just the Unreal, there is CryEngine, there is Unity, all these things coming up with this new and exclusive platform where you can create, bring out, create the artistic workflow real time and very fast and all ultra good quality. And this is the tool set. It's going to come out soon and pretty much based on the game engine. So we'll have the same workflow that we will be using. Okay, and so hopefully we can also talk about that when it is released and go over it in a little more detail. Okay, I will take a look at it as well. So that's a quick insight. And now let's bring these models into Unreal. Okay, so you can see this is the model that we have at the moment, and this is downloaded from the marketplace. No, not exactly. This is actually a free model. Now, to bring in the models, you can actually go ahead and click on import, and I'm going to import these models. So let's bring in the high resolution model. At the moment, let's bring in the low resolution model. And it's very simple. There is no skeletons at the moment, just a model. So just bring in the import model, and I think for a while, and it will be populated inside of whichever folder you are selecting, whichever directory you are selecting. So I don't want the models to be inside of the blueprint section, so I'm going to bring it and maybe drop it inside the mesh. Okay, or you can actually go ahead and copy it and bring it to some other places. Okay, for at the moment, let's go ahead and you will need to save this file, save this model as well inside of this asset browser. Okay, this folder structure, you can see there is an asterisk over here, so this means it's not yet saved inside of the directory path. Okay, you can go ahead and click on save. Now, since this is just for a demonstration purpose, I won't be doing that. You can simply bring in import and bring it in the model. Okay, now this demo, you will immediately notice that inside of the Maya, the thing is Y is up. So y-axis up. Okay, but in the game engine, G is up. Okay, so you will have the character properly aligned, and you can see that this model is in there. It's already taking in all the lighting there, and this is a basic shader model out there. So this is that simple to bring in the models. Okay, in the same way, you can bring in the set and any other asset that you have inside of the Unreal. Just bring them and place them in their proper position. Okay, once the model is brought into the position or place, you can simply assign the materials to the sky. Now I'm just going to quickly drag and drop any of this model material and just bring it there, just like that. And you can see that using these materials, I can just put them on the character that way and create these. That's that simple. There you go. Okay, this looks like a statue at the moment. Okay, so let's think of this as a statue. Okay, I'm just going to bring this one out there. Okay, let's say this is a statue, a bust out there. I want to put it in a nice little position out there, somewhere around there. Okay, and maybe scale it out. Make him look big and gigantic and really standing out. Let's make the model look like more like a tin. Okay, and now the next time you launch the game, let's go ahead and hit play. You'll notice that there it is, our big Tejo guy in the game itself, and really cool thing. And he looks so big. Wow, right? Now imagine he's walking around in this little space, and you can think of him as a minotaur. You know, like you're running through the maze, and this guy's chasing you, and you have nowhere to go. Okay, that's pretty cool. So it's that simple to bring in a model. Okay, if I wanted to, let's say, you can use the different orthographic view to properly fine-tune and place it in a proper position. I'm going to bring it over here, the central dome. Okay, face it properly to the, and I'm just going to hit F on the keyboard to quickly frame it. And you know what, I am not quite happy with this statue. I'm gonna basically hide this, okay, from the outliner, and I'm gonna put in the new statue there. Alright, so now the next time I'm gonna play the game, I'm gonna actually go ahead and take a look at it. Notice that, okay, there's a fusion behind, fusion going on. So we have a Tejo fused to the statue itself. Now you may be wondering, the model that we have before, it's actually hidden, but it's being shown in the game. Okay, this is because this is how the work this works. So you need to first of all actually remove it from the outliner itself. You want to delete that, just place it. Okay, so the next time you play the game, you won't see the big gigantic angel model out there, but you're gonna see our handy little beautiful Tejo model over there. Okay, there you go. So you can actually make this stage for Tejo doing the bodybuilding. Alright, so so that's pretty much it. So this is what I wanted to talk about in this first lecture of the workflow with the Unreal integrations. We have the asset, we have the textures, we have the materials, we know the visualization. We took a look into the overall interface in general, okay, but you can take a look into their tutorials out there in their website, and they have tons of resources out there for the actual workflow. Please take a look into that and make yourself comfortable with the interface. Okay, and since we have all the assets and everything, in the next lecture we will actually focus on the rig that we have for the character, and the animation, we will be baking them out and exporting that to the game engine. Also all those morph targets and integrating that inside of the game engine. Okay, so that's what we will be doing in the next lecture, and I hope you enjoyed the first class. And if you run into any questions or confusions or any questions, feel free to email me, contact me. Okay, I am more than happy to help you with it. And thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next class.